How did my open marriage request end with a process server handing me papers in my office lobby while my boss stood right there? Why did my husband agree so calmly at night, then disappear by morning like I was nothing? What did he do in that quiet time that made the result hit me in public with no warning? My name is Fidelia Hale-Caldwell, but most people called me Fiddy because it sounded small and easy. I worked in client support at a marketing agency. I answered tickets, fixed calendars, and cleaned up other people's mistakes. I was good at it. I liked being the person who saved a project at the last minute. At home, I did the same thing. I carried the schedule, the school emails, the shopping list, the birthdays. I told myself I carried the whole marriage too. Ethan was my husband. He was quiet. He worked in IT for a hospital network and came home tired. He did not drink too much. He did not gamble. He did not hit things. He was lawful in a way that felt cold to me. He checked bills. He paid on time. He fixed the smoke alarm. He asked about the kids. He also asked about me, but not in the way I wanted. I wanted heat. I wanted proof that I still mattered. I told myself that a good man could still be the wrong man. The problem started in my head before it started in our kitchen. My boss, Graham Mercer, gave me attention at work. He asked for my opinion in meetings. He thanked me in front of the team. He said I was sharp and fast. When someone else made a mistake, he said I saved the account. I did not tell Ethan that part. I told Ethan I was stressed. I said work was heavy. I made it sound like my life was a storm, and Ethan was just sitting there, doing nothing to help me. That night, I waited until the kids were asleep. The kitchen was quiet, but not warm. The sink had 2 cups, and I noticed how we never used the same mugs anymore. Ethan came in and asked what I was doing up. I said I needed to talk. He asked if it was about money or the kids. I said it was about us. He sat at the table and waited like he was in a meeting. I told him I wanted an open marriage. I used calm words, like I was reading from a guide. He asked what I meant by that. I said it meant freedom and honesty. He asked if I was unhappy. I said I was lonely. I said he did not see me. I said I felt like a roommate. Those words were easy because I had practiced them in my mind for weeks. I did not say that I wanted Graham. I did not say I already felt like my body was leaning towards someone else. I acted like it was a new idea that came from deep thinking. Ethan asked if there was someone specific. I did not answer the real question. I asked him why he always assumed the worst. I said he had trust issues. I said he made everything about fear. He asked again, slow and careful. I said it was not about one person, it was about me growing. I said I needed space to feel alive. I said he should want me to be happy. When he looked down at his hands, I told myself he was guilty, like he knew he failed me. He said he did not want to fight. I said that was the problem, that he never fought for me. He asked what rules I wanted. I said I did not want rules that felt like prison. I wanted him to agree, not negotiate. I wanted him to give me the key and smile while I walked out. He asked if I still loved him. I said love was not enough if I felt invisible. I said I could love him and still need more. I watched his face, waiting for anger, because anger would make my story simple. If he got mad, I could tell everyone he was controlling. But he did not get mad. He got quiet. He said he understood. He said if I needed this, he would not stop me. He said he agreed. The word landed in the room like a dropped plate, but it did not break. It was clean. It was calm. I felt a quick rush of power, and then something else under it, like fear. I asked if he was serious. He said he was serious. He asked if we could keep the kids out of it. I said of course, like I was the reasonable one. After that, he stood up and walked down the hallway. I followed him because I hated the calm. I asked why he was acting like a robot. He asked me to let him sleep. I said he was punishing me with silence. He said he was tired. In the bedroom, he turned his phone face down and set an alarm. I saw a reminder on his lock screen, something like meeting personal, but I did not see details. I made a joke about him having secrets too. He did not answer. He lay on his side, not touching me. I told myself he was doing it to make me feel guilty. I told myself guilt was proof he was trying to control me. I woke up before the sun. The bed felt wrong. His side was empty. The closet door was closed, but the space where his overnight bag usually sat was clean. I walked to the kitchen and saw one mug missing, the one he always used. His car was not in the driveway. I checked my phone. No message. I checked again, like that would change it. I felt a hot wave in my chest and told myself he did it on purpose. I told myself this was his revenge plan, to scare me back into obedience. I looked around the house in small ways, like a person looking for a lost key. The guest bed looked slightly pressed, like someone had sat there. A drawer in the hall cabinet was shut tighter than normal. I heard a soft click when I pulled it, like a lock catching. I told myself it was nothing. I told myself he was being dramatic, packing and leaving to make me beg. I said to myself that I would not beg. I said respect follows results. And I had results. I had my choice. I had my freedom. At work, the office lights felt too bright. I walked past the open-plan desks and forced my face into a normal shape. Camille from design asked if I looked tired. I said my husband and I had a big talk. She asked if it was bad. I said he was acting strange and cold. I said he agreed to something and then disappeared. She asked what he agreed to. I said it was private, but I let the idea hang there, like bait. Graham saw me near the printer and asked if everything was okay. I said I barely slept. He asked if Ethan was giving me trouble. I said Ethan could not handle change. I said I needed support. Graham said he admired my courage. He said not many women were honest about what they needed. I let that sentence fill me up. I told myself this was what a husband should say. I told myself Ethan had pushed me here by being small and safe. At lunchtime, I checked my phone again. Still nothing. I opened our shared calendar app out of habit. Several items were gone, like someone cleaned a board. One repeating block that said meeting personal was still there, but it was grayed out on my view. I stared at it and felt a cold pinch in my stomach. I told myself he was just trying to look busy. I told myself it was a game. Then my screen lit up with a short message from an unknown number, and for the first time that day, my hands shook. The message from the unknown number was short. It said Ethan wanted all talk to stay about the kids for now. It said I could email him for schedules. It ended with a simple line that felt like a wall. I stared at it and felt insulted, like I was a stranger trying to reach my own husband. I told myself he was being cruel on purpose. I told myself he was trying to control the story by going silent. I typed a reply fast. I asked why he was acting like this. I said he agreed last night. I said he could not just vanish and pretend it was normal. I waited for the typing dots. Nothing came back. That made me angry in a clean, sharp way. I opened my contacts and saw his name. Then I stopped. If I called and he did not answer, it would make me feel smaller. I told myself I was not going to chase him. At the office, I held my phone under the desk and tried to work like normal. A client sent a rude email about late results. I answered it with my usual polite tone. I was good at being calm when it benefited me, but inside, I was still staring at that unknown number like it was an insult. In the break room, Camille poured coffee and asked why I looked tense. I said Ethan was doing something childish. She asked what happened. I said we had an honest talk and he could not handle it. I said he agreed and then left like a teenager. Camille's eyes got wide in the way I liked. She asked if he was trying to punish me. I said yes. I said he always punished me with distance. I did not say I asked for an open marriage so I could be with my boss. I said I asked for space. I said I asked for fairness. Those words sounded better in the air. Camille asked if I was safe. I said I was safe, but I said I felt emotionally cornered. I used that phrase because it sounded serious. I watched her face and saw her anger move toward Ethan. That felt like relief. If other people saw him as the problem, I could breathe. Back at my desk, my work screen showed a spreadsheet with dates and client calls. I clicked through tabs, pretending to focus. But I kept thinking about the morning. Ethan's empty side of the bed, his missing mug, his car gone. I told myself he was unstable. I told myself I was the adult here, still working, still showing up. Graham walked past my desk and slowed down. He asked if I had time for a quick check-in. I said yes. We moved to a small meeting corner with glass walls. He asked if I looked tired because of the new campaign. I said the campaign was fine. I said my husband was acting strange. Graham asked what I meant. I said Ethan could not handle honest talks. I said he liked everything to stay the same. I watched Graham's face soften. I wanted that softness. Graham said I deserved support. He said strong women often scared men who needed control. I did not correct him. I let him build the story for me. I said it was hard to live with someone who always acted calm but made me feel wrong. Graham asked if Ethan was ignoring me. I said yes. I said he vanished and left me to handle the kids and life alone. That was not fully true, but it sounded right in my mouth. My phone buzzed again. It was a school app notification about updated pickup contacts. Ethan's name was still there, of course, but seeing it made me feel like he was marking territory. I told myself he was trying to look like the good parent. I told myself it was a performance. I told myself I would not let him win the audience. At lunch, Taryn called me. She asked if I was okay. I said Ethan was being cold and dramatic. I said he agreed to something and then disappeared. Taryn asked what something was. I said it was private, but I hinted that it was about intimacy and freedom. I knew how to paint the picture without saying the real words. Taryn said men always panicked when women asked for more. She said I should not let him shame me. I said I would not. I felt stronger when she said it like that. After lunch, I opened my social media. I stared at the blank post box. I told myself I was not doing anything wrong by sharing my truth. I wrote a vague line about choosing myself and not begging for basic respect. I did not mention Ethan's name. I did not mention open marriage. I let people fill in the blanks. That was the point. Within minutes, hearts and comments showed up. Camille replied with a flame emoji. Taryn shared it. A few co-workers liked it too. I felt the crowd building behind me like a wall. When I checked again later, there was a private message from a cousin asking if Ethan left me. I said he stormed out after a talk. I said he needed space because he could not handle my honesty. Even as I typed it, a small part of me knew I was shaping a story, but I told myself that stories were just perspective. I told myself my perspective was the one that mattered. Near the end of the day, I looked at the shared calendar again. More items were missing. A repeating block called Meeting Personal was still there, but it sat like a closed door. I tried to click it, but it did not open. I told myself he was being petty, hiding his plans like a teenager hiding his phone. Still, I felt a tightness in my throat. Ethan was not reacting like a man in panic. He was moving like a man with steps. After work, Camille pushed for drinks. She said I needed a real night out. I said yes because staying home felt too quiet. We went to a rooftop bar with heaters and string lights. The city looked clean from up there, like problems could not reach it. Camille invited 2 other friends, and they asked why I seemed off. I said my husband was trying to punish me for wanting a healthier marriage. I said he agreed to my request and then vanished. I let the word vanish sit there like a crime. One friend asked what kind of request. I said I asked for a modern arrangement. I said I wanted honesty instead of sneaking. I watched their faces change. They looked shocked, then impressed. Camille said I was brave. She said Ethan did not deserve me if he could not grow. I nodded and pretended my stomach was not flipping. They asked if Ethan was jealous. I said he was the jealous type, even if he acted calm. I said he liked looking like the nice guy while making me feel guilty for having needs. They all agreed. Someone said men like that were dangerous in quiet ways. I did not stop them. I let it grow. Graham texted me around 9. He asked if I was okay. I said I was out with friends. He asked if I wanted to talk. I said yes. I stepped to the side near the elevator door, where the music was softer. Graham asked if Ethan had contacted me. I said only through an unknown number, like I was a stranger. I said it felt humiliating. Graham said I did not deserve that. He said Ethan was trying to play power games. I said I thought so too. When I got home, the house felt too neat. The kitchen counters were cleared. The trash was taken out. A sticky note sat near the fruit bowl that said, "Kids' backpacks by the door." The handwriting was Ethan's. It made me angry because it looked responsible. It made him look good. I opened a cabinet and noticed a folder label I had not seen before. It said, "Bank." I stared at it for a second, then I shut the cabinet hard. I told myself he was just organizing because he had nothing else to do. I told myself it was not important. That night, I lay in bed and scrolled through the comments on my post until my eyes burned. People told me I was strong. People told me I deserved happiness. I held those words like a blanket. I kept waiting for Ethan to call, to shout, to beg, to prove he was the villain I needed him to be. But the house stayed quiet, and the silence felt planned. The next day, I acted like I was in control. I woke the kids, made toast, and signed a school form with a steady hand. I told myself I was the stable parent. I said Ethan was the one making things weird. Still, I checked my phone every few minutes, waiting for him to break his calm. At work, Graham asked if I wanted to take a short walk during lunch. He said fresh air might help. I said yes, like it was a normal boss thing. We met by the gym across the street because it had a quiet parking lot and fewer co-workers. I told myself it was practical, not sneaky. I told myself an open marriage meant I did not need to hide. In the lot, he asked if Ethan was still ignoring me. I said Ethan was doing a silent treatment to punish me. I said he wanted me to beg. Graham said that sounded like control. He said men used silence as a weapon. I agreed too fast because it fit my story. He asked what I wanted now. I said I wanted peace and freedom. I did not say I wanted him. I let my eyes do the risky part. Graham said he respected me for being honest. He said most people lied and cheated in secret, but I was adult about it. I liked that word. It made me feel clean. He asked if Ethan truly agreed. I said Ethan agreed clearly, and I said it like a fact that could not be questioned. Graham nodded like it was settled. When a car pulled in, I stepped back without thinking. Graham noticed and smirked. He said I did not need to be afraid anymore. I laughed, but it came out thin. Back in the office, my screen was full of tasks, but my head was full of Ethan. I opened our shared photo app and noticed something small. A few family pictures were still there, but an album Ethan made called Weekend was gone. That made me mad in a childish way. It felt like he was erasing me first. I told myself that was cruel. I did not ask why he did it. I just decided it meant he was the villain. That afternoon, Ethan finally sent a message from his own number. He asked what time I could do pickup tomorrow and said he would handle today. He also asked that we stop discussing our marriage in public places. He wrote it like a business email, polite and boring. I read it twice and felt heat rise in my face. I wanted him to sound hurt. I wanted him to sound messy. His calm made my friend's support feel less solid. I replied that he was being controlling again. I said he could not tell me where to talk. I said he was trying to scare me. He did not answer. That silence hit harder because it came after a clear boundary. That evening, we had dinner planned with both families. It was supposed to be about the kids, but I knew it would become about the marriage the second we sat down. We met at a family diner on a busy street, with a long booth that forced everyone to face each other. The lights were too bright. The kids' coloring pages looked too small for the big tension in the air. Ethan arrived with Mila and Noah. He placed their jackets on the bench and asked the waiter for water first, like he always did. He did not look at me for long. He looked at the kids. That made me feel invisible again, and I hated that the feeling was real. I told myself it was his fault, not my choices. My mother, Janice, hugged me and asked if I was okay. I said Ethan was being dramatic and cold. I said he left after we had an honest talk. My sister, Taryn, leaned in and asked if he really vanished. I said yes, like he ran away from responsibility. I watched my mother's face tighten with anger on my behalf. That felt good. I needed witnesses. Patricia, Ethan's mother, sat across from me. She asked how the kids were sleeping. I said they were fine, and I smiled too wide. She asked, careful and slow, if Ethan and I were living together right now. I said Ethan chose to leave. I said he liked playing the victim. Ethan looked at his menu and did not react. That made me want to push harder. Patricia asked if there was someone else. The question was polite, but it cut. I laughed like it was ridiculous. I said people always blamed the woman first. I said it was about growth, not cheating. I said Ethan never listened when I talked about needs. I turned it into a speech, like I was educating them. My father, Rick, stared at his hands. He did not join in. That silence annoyed me, so I pretended it was agreement. Ethan said quietly that he wanted the dinner to stay respectful. He said we could talk about adult issues later. I told him he was acting superior. I said he loved looking calm, so everyone would think he was the good one. Janice said Ethan needed to stop being cold. Taryn said men panicked when women asked for fairness. I let them talk. I let them carry my anger for me. The kids asked for fries. The waiter came and asked if we were ready. Ethan ordered for the kids, simple and normal. That normal tone made me feel like I was the only one exploding, and I hated that image. So I changed the target. I said Ethan agreed to an open marriage and then disappeared like a child. I said it in front of everyone, loud enough that the table beside us went quiet for a second. I pretended I did not notice. Patricia's eyes widened. Gerald, Ethan's father, cleared his throat and asked Ethan if that was true. Ethan did not argue the details. He said he wanted the kids protected from adult topics. He said we would keep routine steady. That answer did not defend me or attack me. It just set a boundary. I felt like I was punching smoke. After dinner, outside the diner, Ethan asked if I could stick to a clear pickup plan this week. He asked for times in writing, so there was no confusion. I said he was treating me like a co-worker. I said he was trying to control me with schedules. He said he was trying to reduce stress for the kids. I told him he was acting like I was dangerous. He said he was not calling me anything. He said he just wanted clarity. When he opened his car door, I heard a soft beep from his phone, like a recording app starting or stopping. It was quick, almost nothing. My stomach tightened. I told myself he was spying. I told myself it was creepy. I did not consider that it might be protection. I decided it proved he was plotting. On the way home, I stopped at the supermarket because we needed milk. I was pushing the cart when I saw Omar, Ethan's friend, near the cereal aisle. He greeted me and asked how the kids were. I said they were fine. He asked if Ethan was okay. The way he asked made me feel judged. I said Ethan was doing this for attention. I said he vanished to punish me. Omar's face stayed calm. He said Ethan was focused on keeping things stable. He said Ethan did not want drama. I heard the quiet warning in his tone, and it made me defensive. I told Omar that Ethan's calm was fake. I said he liked looking like the hero. Omar said simply that public posts could hurt the kids later. I acted insulted. I said I was allowed to speak my truth. Omar said truth and performance were not the same. I hated how that landed. I told myself Omar was biased. I told myself men always protected men. At home, The kitchen felt too clean again. 2 mugs sat far apart on the counter, like they belonged to different houses. I opened a drawer for scissors and saw the labeled folders again, utilities and bank, stacked neatly. A faint toner smell hung in the air, like someone printed something late at night. I shut the drawer and told myself I was imagining things. I went to bed and stared at the ceiling. I told myself Ethan would come back when he got tired of his game. I told myself my friends would keep backing me. I told myself Graham was proof I still had value. But under all of that, a small fear kept tapping at my ribs. Ethan was not acting like a man losing control. He was acting like a man collecting it. The school pickup line was slow that day. Cars crawled forward like they were afraid to touch the curb. I sat with my hands on the wheel and watched other parents laugh through open windows. I told myself they were lucky because their lives were simple. Then I told myself my life was not messy, it was just changing. My phone buzzed with a school notification. It said the office needed to confirm pickup contacts because there was a recent update request. I felt my face heat up. Ethan did not need to touch anything at the school without asking me first, at least in my mind. I told myself he was trying to look like the responsible parent. I told myself it was a move to make me look unreliable. When I got to the front, the office assistant stepped out and asked if everything was okay at home. She said the system showed 2 different addresses now. I forced a smile and said Ethan was being dramatic. I said he needed space, but he was overdoing it. She asked if there were any safety concerns. I said there were no safety concerns. Then I added that Ethan could be emotionally intense. I watched her eyes change, like she was filing that away. That little shift made me feel powerful and sick at the same time. Mila climbed into the back seat with her backpack hugged tight. She asked where Dad was sleeping. I said Dad needed time to calm down. She asked if I did something bad. I told her no. I said adults sometimes needed different things. She asked if Dad still loved me. I said yes, but I said he was confused right now. I made it sound like Ethan was the one with a problem, not me. When I heard myself, I almost laughed because it sounded smooth. At home, I did not let myself sit still. Sitting made me think. I packed snacks, answered work emails, and scrolled through comments on my last post. People still wrote that I was brave. Camille sent me a long message saying Ethan was trying to scare me. Taryn said I should not back down. My mother wrote that I should hold my head high and not let a man's mood ruin my future. My father wrote one line asking if the kids were okay. I replied fast that the kids were fine. I did not want him to ask more. That weekend, there was a community birthday party for a co-worker's child. It was at a community hall with balloons and loud music and a table of cupcakes. Camille insisted I should go. She said staying home would make me look like the guilty one. I said I was not guilty, so I went. In the parking lot, Camille asked if Ethan was coming. I said he refused. I said he was punishing me by acting cold. Camille said he was showing his true colors. I nodded. I did not mention that Ethan had been picking up the kids on time and sending clear messages about school. Those details did not help my story. Inside the hall, people asked where Ethan was. I said he was taking space because he could not handle honest talks. I said it in a light voice, like a joke. A few people laughed in that careful way, like they did not know what was safe to say. I filled the space by talking more. I said Ethan liked looking calm, but he did not support me. I said I carried everything. Camille added that men like Ethan always played victim. I did not correct her. Someone asked if Ethan knew I was here. I said he did not get to approve my life. I said I was done asking for permission. I could feel eyes on me, and I liked it. I wanted witnesses. I wanted the crowd to be part of my proof. Near the snack table, I saw a coworker glance at my phone when a message preview lit up. It was from Graham. He asked if I was okay and said he hoped I was staying strong. I tilted my screen away fast. Camille noticed and smirked. She asked if my support system was checking in. I said yes. I said I had people who understood me. I made it sound clean, like it was just friendship. Later, a group started joking about relationships. Someone said modern marriage was a joke. Camille said some men could not handle a confident wife. She said some husbands agreed to things and then disappeared because they were weak. People laughed. I laughed too. I laughed louder than I should have. I imagined Ethan hearing it. I imagined his face. I told myself he deserved it for making me feel alone. Then I saw a parent filming kids dancing for a short clip. The phone camera lifted, and for a second, I wondered if my voice would end up in someone's background video. I pictured myself online, saying Ethan's name and calling him cold. My stomach flipped. I told myself it would be fine. I told myself I was telling the truth. The next morning, Ethan came to pick up the kids from my driveway. He parked neatly. His car was pointed toward the street like he planned to leave fast. He stepped out with a calm face and said hello to the kids first. He asked if their jackets were packed. He did not ask how I was. That felt like an insult, so I decided to make it one. I asked where he was staying. He said he had a place to sleep and that it was not a topic for the driveway. I said he was being secretive to make me look bad. He said he was keeping things calm. I said calm was just another kind of control. He did not argue. He asked what time I could do pickup on Tuesday. He asked for it in writing, so there would be no confusion. I said he was turning our marriage into paperwork. He said he was trying to keep routine stable for Mila and Noah. Mila stood by the steps and watched us. She asked if we were getting divorced. Ethan crouched and told her we both loved her and Noah. He said we were working on a plan for schedules. He said she did not need to worry about adult topics. His voice was steady, and it made me angry because it sounded safe. I told myself safe was not the same as good. I told myself he was acting for the kids. When he stood up, I heard a soft beep from his phone again. It was quick, like a switch. I stared at his pocket. I asked what that was. He said it was nothing I needed to worry about. I said he was recording me. He said he was not going to argue in front of the kids. He said if I needed to communicate, I could keep it to clear messages about schedules. He said that was best for everyone. He sounded like a manager. I hated it because it made me feel like an employee. After they left, my mother called. She asked if Ethan was still being cold. I said yes. I said he was acting like I was dangerous. She said I should not let him rewrite history. She said I should remind people what he did to me. I asked what he did exactly, but I did not say it out loud. She filled it in for me. She said he neglected me. She said he punished me with silence. I agreed because it was easier than thinking. That night, I checked the shared tablet because the kids used it for games. A small notification sat at the top of the screen. It said, "File uploaded successfully." No title. No preview. Just that line. I tapped around, but I could not find anything new in the folders I could see. I told myself it was a random app thing. I told myself it meant nothing. Still, when I put the tablet down, my hands felt cold. I tried to comfort myself with my own logic. I told myself Ethan had no real power because he agreed to the open marriage. I told myself he was just acting hurt. I told myself everyone already saw him as the problem. But then I remembered the office assistant's careful face, Miller's question on the steps, and Ethan's calm voice saying a plan. And for the first time, I wondered if my story was loud only because it was weak. I tried to act normal on Monday, like the weekend party was just a silly moment. I packed lunch for Mila and Noah, tied Noah's shoes, and smiled too hard at the school gate. I told myself I was the stable one. I told myself Ethan's calm was a mask, and it would crack soon. At work, I kept looking at the lobby doors, as if Ethan might walk in and beg. He did not. Instead, Graham called me into a small meeting room with glass walls. He asked if I was okay. I said I was fine, but my husband was trying to punish me. Graham asked what I meant. I said Ethan agreed to an open marriage and then vanished. I said he was silent to make me feel guilty. I watched Graham's face for sympathy, and I got it. Graham said he did not like how Ethan treated me. He said I deserved someone who supported my needs. He said I had been loyal for years, and now I was just asking for balance. I nodded like he was saying something wise, not risky. I told myself I was not cheating because Ethan agreed. I told myself words could erase facts. Then Graham asked if I could come by later, after work, to talk without interruptions. He did not say where. He did not say how. He just looked at me and waited. I said I had kids, and he said I could figure it out. The way he said it made me feel like a test was happening. I did not like that. I told myself he was just confident. I told myself I liked confident men. During lunch, Camille messaged a screenshot of my old social post with new comments under it. One comment asked if I was the woman sleeping with her boss. My throat went dry. Camille wrote that people were jealous and that I should not care. I said people were making things up. Camille replied that Ethan probably started it. That was what I wanted to believe, so I believed it. I called Taryn and asked if she heard anything. She said someone from her gym mentioned my name. She asked me, careful now, if there really was a boss involved. I got angry fast. I said she was turning on me. I said she should trust me. Taryn said she trusted me, but she said rumors stuck when you fed them. She said my post made it easy for people to guess. I told her she sounded like Ethan. She went quiet and said she had to go. That afternoon, my phone buzzed with a message from Ethan. He asked what time I could do pickup on Wednesday. He also asked that we keep all communication in writing and focused on the kids. The words in writing hit me like a slap. I replied that he was being cold and controlling. I said he was acting like I was a stranger. He replied once and only once. He said he was trying to keep things clear and calm. He said the kids needed adults, not fights. Then he stopped. I left work later than normal because I did not want to go home. The house felt too quiet without my story playing in it. In the parking garage, Graham texted again. He asked if I was coming. I said I could not. He sent a short message saying he did not like excuses. I stared at the screen and felt my chest tighten. I told myself he was stressed, not demanding. I told myself real men wanted what they wanted. I also felt something else. Shame. On the drive home, I passed a co-working space with big windows. I saw Ethan's car in the lot for a second, and my hands tightened on the steering wheel. I told myself it had to be someone else's car. Then I saw Ethan step out, holding a paper coffee cup. He looked normal. He looked like a man going to work. I circled the block once like a fool and then drove away. My heart was banging, and I hated that he could make me feel like that without saying a word. That night, I opened the hall cabinet again. The folders were still there. Utilities. Bank. Household. Neat and labelled. I pulled one a little and saw clean dividers, like someone built a small system. I shoved it back. I told myself he was overreacting. I told myself he was trying to scare me with organization, like I would see labels and panic. Still, I could not sleep. I heard a faint hum from somewhere, like a shredder in a different room. I told myself it was a neighbor. The sound stopped. The silence after it felt too sharp. In the morning, I called my mother. I told her Ethan was acting like a robot. I said he was setting traps. She asked what kind of traps. I said I did not know, but I said he was documenting things like I was a criminal. My mother said I should not let him paint me as unstable. She said I should stay confident and keep control of the story. I asked how. She said I should remind people how lonely I had been. She said I should say Ethan neglected me. I said yes, even though Ethan had never refused to parent, never refused to pay bills, never broken a law. I turned normal distance into neglect because it sounded worse. That afternoon, I met Omar by accident outside a pharmacy. I was in line with cough syrup and kids' vitamins. Omar nodded at me and asked how the kids were doing. I said they were fine. He asked if the schedule was stable. I said Ethan was making it rigid. Omar said rigidity was not always bad when kids needed routine. I rolled my eyes and said Ethan was trying to build a case against me. Omar did not argue. He just said Ethan was choosing the safest path he knew. That sentence made my stomach sink because it sounded like a decision, not a mood. Later, at pickup, Ethan arrived on time. He stayed near his car and did not step onto the porch. He asked if Mila finished her reading log. I said yes. He asked if Noah still had a rash from last week. I said it was better. He did not ask about me. He did not look at my face longer than a second. That felt like being erased. I tried to pull him into a private fight anyway. I asked where he slept and why he used an unknown number before. He said he was keeping things calm. I said calm was just another way to punish me. He said he was not punishing me. He said he was setting boundaries. I said boundaries were just threats with nicer words. He said I could believe what I wanted, but he would not argue in front of the kids. Mila stood by the door and watched us again. She asked if Dad was mad at Mom. Ethan told her he was not mad at her. He said adults were working things out. He said she would have a plan for school days and weekends. He said she could always ask questions, but adult topics would stay adult. His voice was steady, and Mila leaned toward it like it was a handrail. I felt my control slipping, so I tried a softer mask. I told Ethan we could do counseling. I said we could make rules for the open marriage so everyone felt safe. I said I only wanted honesty. Ethan looked at me for a long moment. Then he asked quietly if I truly believed I had been honest. I said yes without thinking. I said I was brave for saying what I wanted. I said he was weak for running away. I wanted him to react. I wanted him to raise his voice so I could prove my point. He did not. He picked up Noah's backpack and adjusted the strap like it was the only important thing in the world. Then he looked at me again and spoke in the same calm tone he used at the diner and the driveway. He said he would handle it properly. I went to work the next morning like I could outwalk the sentence Ethan left on my porch. I wore my good blazer. I used extra concealer. I told myself a person could reset a life with enough confidence. I said to myself that Ethan agreed, so he could not act like a victim now. The office tower lobby smelled like coffee and floor polish. People moved fast with badges and laptops. I kept my face smooth and walked toward the elevators. That was when a man stepped into my path and asked if I was Fidelia Hale-Caldwell. I said yes and asked who he was. He said he had documents for me and asked me to confirm my identity again. I felt my throat tighten. I said he was making a scene. He said he was only doing his job. I looked around and saw 2 co-workers near the security desk. One of them pretended not to stare. The other stared anyway. I told myself Ethan planned this moment. I told myself he wanted witnesses so I could not twist it later. That thought made my stomach drop. The man handed me an envelope and said I was served. I asked what it was. He said it was a family case and that I could read it. My hands shook as I opened it. I saw Ethan's name and my name on the first page. I saw words that made the air feel thin. I saw a request for divorce and a request for temporary orders. I tried to swallow, but my mouth went dry. I told myself it was a bluff. Then I saw dates and a schedule. It said the kids would follow a temporary parenting plan starting right away. It said exchanges would be in public locations and kept calm. It said communication would stay in writing and stay about the kids. It also said I must not post about Ethan online or encourage others to do it for me. My face burned because my posts and my sister's posts were listed like proof of harm. I whispered that this was unfair. The man said he could not discuss it. He said the papers explained the next steps. The elevator doors opened behind me, and Graham walked out with 2 managers. He looked at my hands and asked what happened. I said Ethan was attacking me. Graham's eyes moved to the pages, then to the watching co-workers. He said we should talk in a room. One manager said HR needed to speak with me first. In the HR corridor, a woman asked me to sit. She said a complaint had been submitted with supporting material. She said it involved workplace boundaries and public statements. I said it was private marriage drama. She said anything that touched the workplace was not private anymore. She said I must not contact Graham outside work and must keep all talk professional. She said there would be an internal review. I tried to cry. I said Ethan set me up. I said he agreed and then punished me. The HR woman asked if I had proof of that agreement and proof that my actions stayed respectful. I stared at her because the question was sharp and calm, like Ethan. When I walked back toward the lobby, I saw Ethan near the entrance with his mother. He did not block my way. He did not raise his voice. He looked at the kids' schedule page in my hands and asked if I understood pickup times for this week. I said he was ruining my life. He said he was protecting the kids and keeping it proper. Then his mother stepped slightly closer to him, and Graham turned his head away from me like I was a stranger.